Over 795 million people do not have enough food to lead a healthy lifestyle. This comes from the World Food Programme's website, WFP.org. That means roughly 1 in every 9 people doesn't have enough food. Now, hunger never really seemed like much of an issue to me. After all, we're fed every day, and there's war and violence happening all across the world. So how is this really comparable to that? My church held a homeless and hungry challenge where they challenged us to not eat at night and then sleep outside your box in December, and it sucked. It really left an impression on me and got me thinking, who else is living like this? So my partner Evan and I researched the topic and found some pretty credible resources, and we also looked at how GMO crops can help with hungry communities' longevity and survivability. Now, GMOs are all around us. We eat them every day, and this agricultural school and community has plenty of experience with them, so it's no doubt a community issue. So we're going to look at how it's an issue in the world and how GMOs can be an effective solution by one, looking at the problems with the world's crops, then we'll dive into the effects on third world countries, and finally we'll show how GMOs are an effective solution. So first, let's look at the problem and dissect that with one, the problem with the world's crops. Now, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine and National Institutes of Health's website, the population isn't only growing fast, it's growing faster than projected by the United Nations. By the year 2050, we will have reached 9.3 billion people, which is 400 million more than what was projected already. We already have trouble feeding everyone today, so millions more are going to be hungry. Another major problem is distribution. Now, it's not necessarily quantity all the time, but how we're getting people that food. That same website talks about how we could help local farmers plant their own food and become self-sufficient and not rely on other sources. The problem is they likely don't have food because of poor climate or unsuitable conditions, so they couldn't grow unless they have GMOs. So now that we kind of understand the problem, let's look at some of the effects on third world countries. Now, one of the most obvious visible effects is deforestation, and the logic behind that is we need more food, so we need to grow more food on more land. Well, according to the Center for International Forestry Research website, a team of scientists found that today, agriculture is driving 80% of deforestation. We shouldn't be focusing on growing on more land, but rather maximizing the efficiency of the land we already have. Another effect is the problem is only going to get worse. Over the past 100 years, the methods we've been using, we've scraped by. Most people have been fed, but some are still going to be hungry. And the problem is the population is going to keep increasing, but the land is only going to increase until we run out of forests to demolish. So it's time to look at more opportunities on how we better ourselves and feed each other. So I'm going to turn it over to Ed.
Thank you, Reed. So now that we looked at some of the problems and the effects of these problems on GMOs, let's look at the effective solution. So how GMOs are beneficial with crops use. We're going to divide this up into kind of two sub-main points. First, we're going to be looking at the longevity. We define that as the amount of time a single person can live. And then we're going to look at the survivability, which we've defined as how long the entire population on the world can live comfortably. So going over longevity, right now GMOs are being used mainly by farmers in two aspects. They're being used as a pesticide, first of all, and then they're being used also as a crop yield increase. According to Dr. Peggy Lamar of the University of California, GMOs can be used for so many more things, including beneficial health factors right now. So a good example of this is canola oil that was just recently developed that has reduced fat. So if we incorporate these ideas of health GMOs into the crops that we're growing right now, we can make sure our population individuals are healthier, therefore increasing their longevity. Now going over to the aspect of survivability, like he stated, the population by 2050 will be 9.6 billion. In a study I researched, the population is estimated to be over 11 billion people in the next century, and that's all according to worldpopulationfacts.org. We don't have enough land and food, according to Carl Peterson, owner of Peterson Farm Seeds here in North Dakota, in a 2016 April issue of the Bismarck Tribune. We don't have enough land and crops to feed the 7 billion people in the world now. So how are we going to have enough crops to feed the next 100 years, the 11 billion people on our planet? Well, the effective solution to this is GMOs. Like I stated recently, GMO use is already being incorporated in farmers' use to increase crop yield. So what we need to do is we need to use these GMOs to our benefit and make sure that all crops being used in the near future incorporate these GMOs so we can increase crop yield without using more land. So today we talked about the problems, the effects of these problems with hunger in the world, and then we talked about the solutions, which we said were GMOs. We urge you all to please go check out the NDSU website, check out, research a little bit more about GMOs and how it has affected our community, and what NDSU is doing to research these problems. And we hope that you all get to know your GMO a little bit better.